measuring sheet out. And what shall I call you, honey bun? Excellent. And let's see. Today's date is very good. Okay. Let's go ahead and get started. My particular favorite tool of measuring is a metal measuring tape. This is a thin, flexible metal. That makes some of the best subtle sounds. Now, when I measure, I am going to start with your ears here, if you don't mind. Right. From this point onwards, I am going to need to be touching you so that I can measure you. Is that all right with you? Do I have your permission to do that? Just going to pull up my sleeves a bit. Gets a little warm in here with the sunshine, with the more mild temperatures. There we are. Now let's see which do I start with first? I think I favor this side first. You just let me know if at any point you need a break, alright? Okay. So, let's see if I come in, go from there to about here. That puts us at inches. Okay. From time to time, whether it's after one measurement or multiple, I will be recording them on this sheet so that you have some numbers to take home with you. Let's see, go right here, and if I lock measurement there, where does that put us? makes you more comfortable. If not, I have no problem with either keeping silent as well or filling the silence. Good, that matches. Then I can do, let's see, right about there and there. I want to make sure these values match. And they are mostly symmetrical. We don't need it perfect, but we do like it to be somewhat close. Good. Okay. And this one may differ a bit if we just come in here and we mark from here and lock the tape. Good. Good. Good, and then we have our outlier, which is 1, I like to go down to the 16th of an inch. I know, imperial system, but it's the one I'm most familiar with, and I can convert the measurements to metric if you would like those. So, if you're comfortable, you could tell me a little bit about what's going on in your life. Anything new or exciting? Good. Those values are quite similar. Even if I am just mumbling to myself, don't feel like I'm not listening to you. I've quite the mind for multitasking. One has to in this industry. So I am certainly not ignoring you. Eighths. There we go. Good. We've gotten quite a few measurements so far. Pleased with that. This can be a very relaxing process. Yeah. And let's see. I think let's go ahead and do one of these. How have you been enjoying the weather as of late? Yes, it's been wonderful change from the tumultuous winter that we generally have. I say it every year, as if it changes, but still, it's hard to get used to. Such a trivial sort of season. You never know what it's going to be like. The other ones tend to abide by some sort of code, some measure of rules, but winter, never winter. Good. 5/16. Now I'm quite excited for the days where I can step outside without wearing a mask because of the weather. I have asthma that's triggered by cold air. Luckily, with the introduction of masks, I haven't had a problem all winter. I can just wear it when I go outside. It's been wonderful. Let's go ahead and go to this other ear here. So this should again coincide a little bit, for the most part, with the other side. They should have similar values. Oh, that one is just, see, 1/16 of an inch short. That's quite acceptable, I feel. Very good. Very good. Now let's see. Let me go into yes. And we go into right here. Here. I think that's the same as the other side. And then if we go from here to here, mark it. Believe that one. Just a touch short. Let's see. Eleven sixteenths. Good. Okay. Very good. So, do you have any sort of hobbies? Anything that's been keeping you busy? Yeah. Even things like video games or collections, anything that's brought you joy as of late. I like hearing about things that make other people happy. I like things that bring other people joy. Get right into there. Do right there. And lock. Lock right there. Sounds like some fun things for you to do. There's so many different diversions. And if something doesn't speak to you at the time, you're more than able to switch to something else, even if it's just for a day. Personally, I had gotten into crocheting a touch so I could make little mini pumpkins about the size of, I'd say your palm of your hand, but my hands are very small. About the size of my palm. Real cute, very lumpy, unfortunately. My first try, the edge was not straight at all. First, it was because I wasn't counting my stitches correctly, and then afterwards, I feel like the tutorial I was following was not using the technique they were talking about, because their edge looked much different when I finally started getting it more straight. And it certainly could be that they know what they're doing, but then I found how to make a straight edge, and it's much, much better. Much better. Now it doesn't look like a piece of bacon, all wavy along the edges. So that's been nice. I don't know if you enjoy the subject, but I very much enjoy writing. Let's see if we do right here. Good. And then here. And right there. Okay. Good. I enjoy both fiction and nonfiction writing. And I think that it is quite a worthy subject to get into. I'd always been drawn to writing, but put it off for many reasons, including carpal tunnel and my mind going too quickly to write things down effectively, and losing all of those ideas so quickly if I didn't write them down immediately. And despite those limitations, I was able to first get a brace for my wrist to stabilize it, as well as regularly icing it to alleviate some of that inflammation. And I was able to track down a laptop, albeit an incredibly slow one, but I only need it for a word processor, so it works, and that allows me to be much quicker about writing down my thoughts. And now, whenever I get an idea, I have a little box in my pocket that I can quick type something out. So whenever I get an idea, it goes in the note folder, and I'm able to digest it when I have a minute. When I have the ability to give it my full attention. Little things like this, and also realizing that a lot of writing tips and a lot of writing advice is for people that are more neurotypical, whereas I am neurodivergent. And since I've been able to explore that a little bit, I've been able to make much better progress when you figure out what exactly you need to do, what's better. Now, let's get into your face a bit, okay? Let's see. Okay, right about there. Good. So it's all about making those sort of changes as you're able. Because something that I really, really wanted to do was writing. And it took a little bit of time, probably a couple of years, to get to a point where I was in a state where I could be comfortable, not be in pain, and my mind flowed and things came easier. Just sometimes you get a sort of this realization, this epiphany. Things click much more. And sometimes that's really what you need, to just wake up one day, realize, and pursue. find that as I get older, I'm coming back to the things that I explored in my adolescence that I really enjoyed, but abandoned due to, well, like writing, pain, inaccessibility, things of that sort. But one of the big things is the notion of cringe. And I see this a lot with both much older people and younger people, where they don't want to do something because it is seen as cringy. And maybe they lose opportunities or just their own personal enjoyment. But things like drawing or enjoying anime or going out and riding horses, I don't know. There's so many things that we tell ourselves are too young for us, especially when I talk to people about cartoons or anime. They think, oh, I'm too old for that. Oh, that stuff's for kids. Stuff like that. When a lot of that stuff was made by adults. And there's nothing wrong with liking something that is targeted at a younger audience than you. And that is where one of my very favorite mottos comes into play. Do not kill the part of you that is cringy. Kill the part of you that cringes. There is so much more to life than liking only adult things, liking only mature subjects. In fact, I see that as something immature, to not be able to recognize that one can enjoy something without it being cringy. I would have lost on many pieces of media or many activities that I ended up really enjoying. Or that ended up being rather formulative parts of my life. For example, maybe this is a poor example, but I think it goes along with it. So for a long time, I'm watching anime for several years, right? I go through these instances where I watch only anime for a few months and then I don't touch it for 6 to 8 months. And I had put off a specific anime for a long time. And when I ended up watching it, it ended up being one of my most favorite anime of all time. The anime in question, as I wouldn't deprive you of that knowledge, that would be a little rude, let's be real, is Fruits Basket. Fruits being plural. I thought the name was childish, and this is when I first came upon it, where I was probably 17. I thought the name was childish. I thought the cover, when you look it up, I thought that was childish as well. The premise was whatever, right? And I don't often go for more slice of life anime. To be honest, I think all the anime I really enjoy, save for a few, could also be construed as slice of life, but I particularly enjoy ecchi anime, that more romance thing. Again, looking back, a lot of that was slice of life, but they weren't described that way to me. And I decided at one point, while I was ill, that why the hell not, right? I wanted to watch an anime. I didn't really want to sort through. I was going through a list of ones that were always recommended to me. And I decided to look up Fruits Basket. And now that I know that the name is a translated title of a game, which is explained as well in the anime, I understand the name more. And it ended up being something that I probably watched the entire 3 seasons, maybe 4 or 5 days. I was real quick about it. All I did was live, breathe, eat, and sleep. Fruits Basket. And I think that overall, it ended up being one of my absolute favorites, as I said. And it came to me at the right time, I think. Came to me at the right time, and I was lucky because they had remade it. And I was watching the remade version. And I think originally it was only 1 season, and then they remade it and made the entire thing, right? adored it. I loved it so much. It was so helpful in a time when I really needed it, and it touched on issues that pertained to me as well at the time. So it was one of those things that I will be forever grateful for. I ended up being able to move past a lot of things after watching it. And I think that was just incredible for a piece of media to hit you in such a way that it opens up a world inside yourself. Isn't that insane? But I had held off for so long because I thought it was cringy. And that's the real cringy part. I could have used that so long ago, but I wanted to be childish about it. That's okay. We live and we learn, right? It's all about learning. I feel that some of the only true stagnation in my own life is when I'm not able to actively learn about, not just one thing, but multiple things. And I'm glad that came in my life when I needed it. So, I know I went on a bit of a rant there. Let's go ahead and we'll finish this off with doing some neck measurements. Okay? Go. But yeah, that was a great big rant. And its purpose was to say that if there are things in your life that you haven't tried because they might be a little daunting, or even so, they may seem a bit childish, whether it's collections or cartoons or, I don't know, playing with dinosaur models, puzzles, what have you. I think that if you have the means, you should say, fuck it, and try it out. If you start small, in many hobbies and pieces of media, you're able to start small. The only thing you really lose is time. And we're always losing time on the stupidest things. So if we lose time on such an adventure as of exploring something new, something different that we have an interest in, I feel like that is time well spent. But what do I know? You are more than able to make those decisions for yourself. But that's something that I think many people should learn. Is that just because you quote unquote grow up doesn't mean you have to ditch all the things that you did in childhood or that you always wanted to do. Because oftentimes when we're adults, it's the only time we actually are able to pursue these things. I don't know about you, but my family was quite poor when I was growing up, and there were so many things that I couldn't do. And when I got older, I started pursuing those things that I wasn't able to do before. And they were just as wonderful, if not more wonderful, because I had to wait for them. Okay. I think that will about do it. End of the little rant, end of the measuring. Is there anything else I can do for you at all? Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for sitting here, for listening, enduring my small talk, and I hope you have a whale of a day and a good rest of your night. I'm going to let you have this, and then I will bid you adieu.